फ्रेंड्स, इससे पहले वाला वीडियो हमने शेयर किया था संपन्न पोर्टल को कैसे यूज करें। वो वीडियो स्पेशली यूज़र मैनुअल था कि जो भी रिटायरी हैं या वीआरएस ले रहे हैं वो संपन्न पोर्टल पे अपना डिटेल स्टेप बाय स्टेप कैसे फिलअप करें। उसी के क्रम में ये मैं दूसरा वीडियो आपको शेयर कर रहा हूँ। यह वीडियो स्पेशली उन लोगों के लिए बनाया गया है जो कि एसएससी लेवल पे एज ए नोडल हेड ऑफ ऑफिस यूज़र के रूप में काम करेंगे या जो है डीएच यूज़र के रूप में काम करेंगे। तो इस वीडियो में स्टेप बाय स्टेप जो है मैनुअल डिफाइन किया गया है और बताया गया है कि जो है हेड ऑफ ऑफिस HOO या डीएच यूज़र कैसे संपन्न पोर्टल पे अपने सारी एक्टिविटी वीआरएस से रिलेटेड करेंगे। तो इसलिए इस वीडियो को पूरा आप देखें और स्पेशली जो लोग हेड ऑफ ऑफिस या एज ए डीएच यूज़र काम करेंगे और साथ ही में जो रिटायरी या वीआरएस ऑप्टी हैं वो भी देखें, जिससे उनको डिटेल में पता चलेगा कि जो है कैसे संपन्न पोर्टल को अच्छे तरह से यूज करके उसका लाभ उठाएं। तो आइए देखते हैं वीडियो।
Department of Telecommunications had launched a comprehensive pension management system (CPMS) with the brand name Sampann, which brings processing, sanctioning, authorization and disbursement under a common online platform for the pensioners of the telecom department. This platform shall also be used for BSNL Voluntary Retirement Scheme 2019. This video has been made to acquaint BSNL users at SSAs to understand the workflow related to the processing of terminal benefits and pension in Sampann. The website address of Sampann is as mentioned. Please note that all relevant user manuals are available in the Downloads tab on the website. Let us first understand the hierarchy of users in Sampann with respect to VRS 2019. At the top level, we have DOT user as administrator, then CC office user at level 2, and then comes BSNL users. Here we have HOO, that is head of office user, and then DH, that is the dealing hand user. In addition to that, we have the retiree user. A separate video for the benefit of retirees has been prepared. In this slide, we talk about creation of user IDs in Sampann system from BSNL perspective. For every SSA, circle and corporate office, one user shall be created called HOO, head of office user. These offices shall send an offline request to respective CCAs for creation of their users by providing mobile number to CCAs for creation of user. CCAs shall create the HOO user and intimate SSA offices about the user credentials. The officials shall log on to the system with the username and password shared, and upon logging in, the official shall be required to provide basic details. Please note that the user should change his or her password immediately after the first login. It should also be noted that there can only be one head of office user per SSA or circle office or corporate office. After this, HOO user shall create the DH user, that is the dealing hand user. It may be noted that DH and HOO users shall be as nominated by BSNL. The screen shows how a HOO user can create DH users in the system. After login using the credentials, HOO should go to the users menu on the left and then go to user registration. Here the HOO will see all the users created by him. HOO user should click on the Add New button in the top right corner to create a DH user. Upon clicking, a user registration form is opened. Users need to be created as per the detailed user manual located on Sampann website and as per the instructions given by CCA office. This way, multiple DH users can be created by the HOO. After the dealing hand users have been created, rights have to be assigned to them in order for them to perform their tasks. This is a mandatory step and should not be skipped. To do so, the HOO user after login should go to the Users menu on the left and select User Registration. Here the HOO user should click on the lock icon under the Authorization column. This will open the rights page for that particular dealing hand under the HOO user. The HOO user should select all the rights listed on the page and submit. After doing so, the dealing hand user will be able to perform all his tasks. In case the HOO user wants to update the profile of the dealing hand, he or she can do so by clicking on the Edit button under the Edit column. The dealing hand user can now log in using his or her credentials. Dealing hand user can update his profile by logging in for the first time. DH should immediately change his password after logging in for the first time. Once dealing hand user logs onto the system, a list of retirees under his jurisdiction will be visible to him along with all details as shown in the screen. The path is by going to Retiree Details menu. The data seen has been directly imported from BSNL ERP system and is color coded in yellow. Since the data is from ERP, it will be non-editable. To view the details, the user can click on the Edit button under the Action column. Here, a pop-up window will open where the user can view the details, which are the basic information of the retiree. Please note that it should be ensured that for all BSNL Voluntary Retirement Scheme 2019 retirees, the type of retirement is BSNL Voluntary Retirement Scheme 2019 and the date of retirement is 31st January 2020. If there is any discrepancy, it should be immediately informed to the concerned CCA office. Also, mobile number being entered should be an active number so that alerts can be sent to the retiree. At this stage, if the dealing hand user feels that the retiree does not belong to his circle but another, or the retiree details are not correct, he should immediately inform the respective circle CCA office. In this slide, we shall see the steps that the DH user has to follow in order to complete the process for pension. Service book verification, then send form to retiree, form received from retiree, form verification, form 7, form 8, sent to PAO, that is Pay and Accounts Office, that is the CCA office. Please remember that at every step, DH user shall submit the case to the HO user for his approval. Only after the approval can the DH move to the next stage. HO can either approve it or return it to the DH user with remarks for correction. The user has to go to the Action menu and select the Service Book Verification submenu under Normal Pension. As a precondition, before feeding service book information and updating, it has to be ensured that the service book is actually verified for the period mentioned. If any period remains unverified, please mention it in Remarks column. After checking the details and feeding the details in Remarks column if needed, the DH will select the case to be sent for HO approval by clicking on Send for Approval. Please note that the DH can select multiple cases at a time for sending to the HO user. As a best practice, to save time, DH should send cases in batches for approval. After the cases have been sent to HO for approval, the HO will log in and go to Approval, Normal Pension, Service Book Verification. Here, the HO will be able to see the cases that have been sent by the DH for approval. He can view the retiree profile details by clicking on the View button under the View Verification Form menu. The HO can either approve the case or return the DH for correction in unverified period mentioned. Upon return, the HOO has to enter his remarks in the Remarks column. If approved, the case moves on to Send Form to Retiree stage at the DH's login. Now for cases that have been returned by the HOO, the DH can see these cases by going to Action, normal pension, service book verification, and then selecting return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make the necessary corrections, and resend the case for HOO approval. For all the verified service book, DH can view the cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Service Book Verification, and then selecting Service Book Verified in the filter at the top of the page. Special attention should be paid to the filters available on various screens in order to avoid confusion. After HOO approval for the service book verification stage, the case moves to Send Form to Retiree stage at the DH login. The DH will go to Action, Normal Pension, Send Form to Retiree. The DH will see the cases listed here. After checking the details, he will send the cases to HOO for approval by clicking on Send for Approval. Please note that the DH can select multiple cases at a time to send to the HOO. As a best practice, in order to save time, DH should send cases in batches for approval. After cases have been sent to the HOO for approval, the HOO will log in and go to Approval, Normal Pension, Send Form to Retiree. Here, the HOO will be able to see the cases that have been sent by the DH for approval. The HOO can either approve the case or return it to the DH. Upon return, the HOA has to enter his remarks in the remarks column. If approved, the retiree login is created and his or her credentials are intimated via SMS. The retiree can log in now and fill up his pension-related forms. A separate video detailing out how retirees could fill up the forms will be shared. For cases that have been returned by the HOO, the DH can see these cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send Form to Retiree, and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make the necessary corrections, and resend the case for HOO approval. After the forms have been filled by the retiree, they will be visible to the DH. The DH has to go to Action, Normal Pension, Form Received. He will be able to see the cases here with the forms. He can view the forms by clicking on the forms under the Forms column. Now please note that DH has to check that the forms received are correctly filled and that all scanned documents uploaded are of good quality. Then on receipt of hard copy, which is duly signed by the retiree, DH may cross-verify the details and also check whether all enclosures as per the checklist have been duly attached. Following details must be checked for quality and correctness with utmost care. Photographs uploaded, single and joint, should be of good quality and clear. Signature should be legible and visible clearly. Address can only have alphanumeric characters and no special characters should be entered. Instead, space should be used if needed. Bank account details should match the mandate form submitted by the retiree. Family member name and details, that is date of birth and marital status, should be verified from the service book. If at this stage any error is detected by DH, then the case has to be returned to retiree with remarks. This can be done by clicking on the Return button under the Return column and mentioning the error in forms filled. Retiree shall correct the error and resubmit the forms. Care must be taken to ensure that all details are correct, because any error, if detected at this stage, can easily be corrected. After checking the details, DH will send the cases to HOO for approval by clicking on Send for Approval button. Please note that the DH can select multiple cases at a time in order to send to the HOO. As a best practice, to save time, DH should send cases in batches for approval. After cases have been sent to HOO for approval, the HOO will log on and go to Approval, Normal Pension, Form Received. Here, the HOO will be able to see the cases that have been sent by the DH user for approval. He can view the forms by clicking on the respective forms under the Forms column. HOO can either approve the cases or return to the DH for correction. Upon return, the HOO has to enter his remarks in the Remarks column. Upon approval, the case moves to Form Verification stage under DH Login. For cases that have been returned by the HOO, the DH can see these cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send Form Received, and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make the necessary corrections, and resend the case for HOO approval. After HOO approval, the case moves to Form Verification. The DH can see the cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Form Verification. This is an added measure to ensure that the forms have been filled correctly. The DH can view the forms by clicking on the icon under View Forms column. The DH can view the images uploaded by the retiree by clicking on the icon under the View Images column. Upon satisfaction, the DH can verify that the details are correctly filled by clicking on the Verify button under the Verify column. Upon clicking, the case will move to the HOO for approval. If now any error is detected by DH, then the case has to be returned. This can be done by clicking on the Return button under the Return column. Retiree shall correct the error and resubmit the forms. Care must be taken to ensure that all details are correct, because any errors detected at this stage can easily be corrected at this stage itself. After cases have been sent to HOO for approval, the HOO will log in and go to Approval, Normal Pension, Form Verification. Here the HOO will be able to see the cases that have been sent by the DH for approval. He can view the forms by clicking on the icon under the View Forms column. The HOO can either approve the case or return to the DH for correction. Upon return, the HOO has to enter his remarks in the Remarks column. Upon approval, the case moves to next stage, that is Form 7 under DH Login. All forms filled by retiree along with annexures should be countersigned by this stage. For the cases that have been returned by HOO, the DH can see these cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send Form 7, and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make the necessary corrections, and resend the case for HOO approval. Once the forms are verified, the same may be seen by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send Form 7, and then selecting Forms Verified in the filter at the top of the page. After HOO approval, the case is fit for Form 7 and the DH can view the cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Form 7. The DH can view the cases and click on the icon under Form 7 column to fill Form 7. Form 7 calculates the terminal benefits and pension as applicable to the pensioner. Once this form is filled and next stage initiated, it cannot be edited in HOO section. Therefore, due diligence should be exercised while filling in all important fields, that's pay scale, qualifying or non-qualifying service, additional qualifying service, average emoluments. For BSNL VRS Scheme 2019, retirement gratuity and commutation, it shall be clearly mentioned that payment will be as per BSNL Voluntary Retirement Scheme 2019. Certain information in Form 7 is auto-populated, such as name and date of birth. The DH has to enter other details such as non-qualifying service. It should be noted that the fields related to dues will remain disabled. After entering the data and thoroughly verifying the details, the DH will click on Submit and Calculate button to calculate the pensionary benefits. The DH must go through the entire Form 7 that has been generated and see the calculations of pension and deferred retirement gratuity. It should be noted that since retirees cannot apply for commutation at this stage for BSNL Vrs 2019, the lump sum commutation will be 0. After this, the DH will see the calculated Form 7. He will then save the generated Form 7. After submitting the form, it will go to the HOO for approval. The HOO can see the Form 7 for retirees submitted by the DH by going to Approval, Normal Pension, Form 7. The HOO can view the Form 7 screen by clicking on Current View. After thorough verification, the HOO will approve the Form 7. HOO can also return the Form 7 to DH after entering remarks in the remarks column. After approval, the case will move to Form 8 generation at the DH login. In cases where Form 7 has been returned by the HOO, the DH can see those by going to Action, Normal Pension, Form 7 and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make the necessary corrections and resend the Form 7 for HOO approval. The DH can regenerate the form in the same manner as before and then save and submit it. Care must be taken to make sure that the data entered is correct. After HOO approval, DH can view the cases fit for Form 8 generation by going to Action, Normal Pension, Form 8. The DH will click on the icon under Form 8 column to fill details. There will be no recoveries made in Sampann for retirees under BSNL Vrs Scheme 2019. Therefore, DH should simply click on Save and Send for approval. The case will now move to HOO for approval. The HOO can see the Form 8 for retirees submitted by DH by going to Approval, Normal Pension, Form 8. The HOO can view the Form 8 generated by clicking on Current View and then Approve. HOO must ensure that no recoveries are made in the Form 8 generated by DH. HOO can also return Form 8 to DH user after entering remarks in the remarks column. After approval, the case will move to Send to PAO stage at DH login. In cases where Form 8 has been returned by HOO, the DH can see these by going to Action, Normal Pension, Form 8 and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of HOO, make necessary corrections and resend the same for approval. After HOO approval, the case will move to Send to PAO stage at the DH login. DH can view the cases by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send to PAO. After viewing, the DH clicks on the icon under Send to PAO column, which opens the checklist. DH must see if all the required forms have been submitted. DH should also select the person eligible for family pension from the list of family members from the drop-down. DH should then click on Send for approval for HOO approval. HOO can see the cases sent by DH for approval by going to Approval, Normal Pension, Send to PAO. After viewing, HOO should click on the icon under the Approve column. Upon clicking, the checklist of forms will be opened. It should be ensured that all papers as per checklist are also sent to CCA in physical copy. HOO must ensure all the required forms and documents have been submitted and the person eligible for family pension has been selected. HOO then clicks on Approve button. After approval, the case is sent to the pension section of the concerned CCA office automatically. The HOO can also return to DH user by entering the remarks and clicking on Return button. For cases that have been returned by HOO, DH can see those by going to Action, Normal Pension, Send to PAO, and then selecting Return from HOO in the filter at the top of the page. The DH can view the remarks of the HOO, make necessary corrections, and resend the case for HOO approval. At any point of time, DH and HOO can view the list of all retirees and their generated forms that are to be sent to CCA office by going to View Forms after login. Printout of the forms and documents must be taken. These have to be sent to concerned CCA in physical files. Only after the receipt of these forms generated by the system, the CCA office would be able to process the case.
फ्रेंड्स, यह वीडियो देखने के लिए आपको बहुत धन्यवाद और कृपया करके इस वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक करें और शेयर करें, जिससे कि अधिक से अधिक लोग इसका लाभ उठा सकें। और इस वीडियो को सब्सक्राइब करें और आप चाहते हैं कि कोई भी नया वीडियो का नोटिफिकेशन आपको मिले तो जो है बेल आइकन को भी क्लिक करें, जिससे कि कोई भी नया वीडियो अपलोड होगा तो आपको उसका नोटिफिकेशन में आ जाएगा। धन्यवाद।